Each week, there's a new movie in theaters, and this is the Movie Update. I'm Reggie Ponder, the real critic with what's hot, what's new, what's now. To talk about Tyler Perry's new film, For Colored Girls. So when I saw the play, there was two words that came to mind. The first one is powerful, because when you look at the performances that you guys, I mean, they were really powerful, these powerful moments. And maybe that wasn't difficult given the work you just talked about, I mean, the origin of the material. But talk a little bit about the mood, the atmosphere that created these riveting moments. And was it a heavy play to do, or was there some fun there?
Well, it was heavy by virtue of the situations and the stuff that these characters are going through, you know, like the most critical, difficult points in their lives. But there were moments of light relief. For example, my character, Thandie, is the most foul, potty mouth, I think you call it here. The stuff that is in her head floating around, waiting to be delivered to someone that she has resentment towards is, and I would start ad-libbing freely, and Tyler was very open to us being spontaneous. And I tell you, some of the stuff that came out of my mouth, I would have to go to confession at the end of the day, just because I couldn't say that it was just the script. This was me channeling all kinds of rage and oof. So, but at the same time, it was very cathartic and hugely entertaining. The number of times that Tyler would be off camera just whooping with laughter when Thandie came out with another bit of horror.
I have to say that as a man watching it, it's tough to watch this film. What do you want men to take away from this film? Because when I watch the play, it's tough to see it, but when you actually see the men, you feel somewhat ashamed at how he acts. What would you want men to take away from this?
Goodness, that's interesting. Shame. Certainly not shame. A degree of responsibility, wanting to take responsibility for fellow men, you know, wanting to be able to create a positive atmosphere to sort of eradicate the negative atmosphere that men in the picture create. Because we all need to take responsibility, you know. So often, I mean, our society creates this ability for us to be able to walk away, you know, and not get involved. And obviously, if it's physically threatening, you can't, but we can take responsibility because it's society that's created the pain, the struggle, the suffering. For example, Michael Ealy's character, Bo Willie, he's a guy that's come back from war in Iraq, and he's an example of how society is not taking care of its soldiers coming back, and all that confusion and all that pain. And that becomes domestic violence and abuse against his family. And so just that very thing, it's not shaming men, it's actually looking at the bigger picture, it's looking at society, the community. So I think there's too much in there, too much complexity to just sort of bring the hammer down on men. You know, that's kind of, if anything, that's a very simple, very simplified take on the emotional value of the movie.
Well, thank you so much. I
pleasure.
really appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you for coming.
Being colored is a metaphysical dilemma I haven't conquered yet. You don't know me.
I do.
My skin is black. My hair is black.
You're watching ChiTownMix.com, and I'm Reggie Ponder, the real critic.